hyper-focused on serving individuals of all ages as they transition on their career journey because, like myself, it's rare to find somebody that's worked in a job for 30 years or 40 years. I mean, it happens, but you have to be able to learn how your skills translate into new opportunities. But you have to have a team mindset at every organization. And so just relying on your team to support each other in that respect is super important. I am the Senior Director of Operations for the DeBruce Foundation, and it is a national nonprofit based in Kansas City. And our mission is to expand career pathways to economic growth and opportunity. So our team has developed career literacy tools that are free as part of our charitable mission. But I love it. I love cultivating those relationships and trying to help our team be a well-oiled machine so we can further our mission.
May I ask what you majored in at university?
So I actually had a non-traditional path, or what most people consider non-traditional. So I was raised by a single mom. Neither of my parents or my grandparents went to college, so I didn't have people pushing me to pursue it. And I started working when I was 14, just in restaurants and things. But when I was 18, I knew I had to support myself. And so I went direct to the workforce without a college degree. So at 20, I got my first office administrative type role, and I just worked my way up the corporate ladder, if you will. I've worked in about 5 different industries across my career, and all in the business administration type role. But it's my first time in the nonprofit side, and it's really an honor to work at the foundation because early in my career, the career literacy tools that I mentioned help build confidence and show an individual their strengths, what they like to do, and what they're passionate about doing early on so they can find the value that they bring to the workforce, right? Because, in my situation, I a lot of times didn't have the degree that people were looking for when I was interviewing. So I had to rely on my skills and work to kind of be able to show an employer, I still have value. So it just may not be in the form of a piece of paper.
And you mentioned you worked in many different sectors. What would you say was your favorite and why?
So where I'm at today is my absolute favorite. We're hyper-focused on serving individuals of all ages as they transition on their career journey because, like myself, it's rare to find somebody that's worked in a job for 30 years or 40 years. I mean, it happens, but you have to be able to learn how your skills translate into new opportunities. One challenge I incurred was one of my favorite jobs. It was a global property and casualty insurance company. I loved the role. I was a regional branch administration manager, and they downsized my regional office and wanted me to move from my hometown in Kansas City to Denver. And I was devastated because, I had 3 kids and a support system at home, and I wasn't willing to leave. So I found myself having to look for a new opportunity, which was, challenging. But it took me about 3 months, and I really tapped into my networking skills, right? And just was able to land a new job fairly quickly, though, but based on my work skills.
How did you feel going through the challenges you went through in your life? And how did you overcome them? Who did you turn to, or did you go through them on your own?
Early on in my career, I really didn't have a strong network. So I would, mainly with that job where I had to downsize, I really leaned into one of my mentors who was the CFO of the company at the time. He was looking for an actuary, which does require a college degree. And I offered to assist him while he was trying to fill that position. And he taught me all my budgeting skills, managing a budget, working with databases, all the formula skills in Excel. He really kind of took me under his wing in that respect, which really kind of helped me level up. And I still use those skills today. So yeah, I really leaned into those mentors and leaders.
So you probably have a lot going on in work and in your personal life. And how are you able to balance both of these things?
I am super passionate about work-life balance. And I have 4 kids ranging from 15 to 28. And a couple of my careers, I traveled a lot. In fact, the one right before I was at the foundation, I worked for a national creditors' rights law firm and traveled all over the country. But especially when you're salaried, you work to get the job done, but many times and oftentimes you're working 50 hours. You find yourself working a lot. But I just kind of got to a point where you can work, but you have to work that makes sense. My family is huge to me. So I am usually at most sporting events and all the things, but you have to have a team mindset at every organization. And so just relying on your team to support each other in that respect is super important.
I would love to hear what advice maybe you have to give.
I would say embrace change, because accepting change positively can prove challenging sometimes, but identifying your values and your natural strengths are the tools that can help you change with purpose. You know, even when it's overwhelming or scary, and especially as we are seeing with the future of work, you know, and especially with AI and all that will entail, right? Like just knowing your value and having the confidence to embrace change in the future will help you transition on your career journey.